Bitcoin is an ideology that spawned a protocol that created an asset that circulates on a network. The ideology is sovereignty, sound money, freedom and property rights, right? Dignity of the human spirit, ownership of your life force, economic sovereignty and immortality. That's the ideology of Bitcoin. And Satoshi gave us that.
Altcoins come and go, narratives change, but Bitcoin is the truth. The hardest money the world has ever seen. I thought about it, long and hard, pros, the cons, dug deep, questioned everything, and at the end of the day, you've got to make up your own damn mind. I have conviction. This is freedom. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. This is freedom. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. Legends, welcome to another live stream. Firstly, I hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. I wasn't planning to go live today, but you know, with a little bit of new information that we got, the volatility over the weekend, Bitcoin pumping here to the upside and today dumping here to the downside, I thought let me do a quick little update for my community. Yes, let's do a quick little update, analyze the price of Bitcoin, and as per the thumbnail, as per the title, is the low in? Right, is the low in, legends? That's now the big question, okay? Because for those of you that has been paying attention in class, just trying to find my brush here, we have been talking about this range low strategy forever. And we got a beautiful pump here to the upside. So now that we are getting this little movement here to the downside, can we say with confidence that the low is in? And it's only up from here, right? That's what we need to analyze today. Put the music a little bit softer here in the background. Okay, so that's what we need to analyze today. Remember to smash up that like button. You know, it's your ways of showing love here towards the channel. Just all I ask is that you give that like button a gentle tap and help the YouTube algorithm spread this to people that has not seen or that have not seen my channel before. Okay, right, legends. First It's Monday. So on a Monday, what I like to do is focus a little bit on the higher time frame, and then we can zoom in here to the smaller time frame, because we are all very interested in this little structure. We are all very interested, but I'm going to get there. Okay, I'm going to get there. Right. Is there a chance for the low to be taken? Yes. Is there a high probability of the low being taken? No. So it's all about probabilities at the end of the day. And as always, I highlight the bullish and the bearish case scenario. And we will go through that, and then we will discuss the probabilities of the scenarios. Okay, from a probability perspective, there's a good chance that this low could be in. Does it have a high chance of being claimed? Yes. But if, okay, I'm going to jump into this now for the people, you know, just now something happens aggressively here to the downside and we're not prepared while we're doing the high time frame analysis. I will still be extremely interested in longs if we do take the low. If price had to dump down here, I will be very, very interested in this long over here. I will get stopped out of my long trade, guys, because I mean, we've spoken about this level for so damn long, right? The low after the pump with high volume to the upside becomes your range low. We have tapped it, retested it, and now we're getting an upwards momentum here to the upside. If for some reason price does fall down here, okay, I do have the trade still open here on BTC, okay, on Bluffin. If you'd like to come and trade with me, link is always down in the description, where you qualify for a 20% cash back on the money that you deposit in your features account. But yeah, you guys can see I have an entry, okay, because I took the trade. I cannot talk about a trade that I have been talking about for so long and not take the trade. I have taken the trade. My position is protected. And I can tell you guys now that if I do get stopped out of this position, there's another level to the downside where I will re-enter this trade. Okay. There's two ways. You can either leave the trade open, okay, move your stop loss to $112,000 because that's the invalidation for the bullish case scenario, add slightly to the position. I prefer to get stopped out of this position. I'd rather want to get stopped out and have a better entry to the downside, okay? Because I know how to play swing failure patterns. Right. But this is the bearish case scenario. If price for some reason finds its way down here, it eats up the lows again. We will discuss in this live stream what is this level that I am watching for a long, okay? And how do I plan to get into this long? For now, okay, I have on BTCC, another exchange, I have ever so slightly added to my position. I also had a great entry at exactly the same spot, but my entry has gone up a little bit because I added to the position with this little dump that we got here to the downside. I added ever so slightly. Okay, so that position is also protected. If I get stopped out, I will look for an entry lower down. Right, now let me just take the noise here out the chart. So guys, I took the entry. Okay, I've got a couple of trades running here. As you know, some of them have been running for a long time. I did enter a small little swing position on Moon River. AR, I've got Litecoin. AR and Moon River, guys, it's just, it's not swing trades that I'm going to keep open for months and months. I'll see what happens. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But these are two actual day trades that's now turned into swing trades. I was planning to get in and out very quickly out of these two trades, but I still have Litecoin, Dogecoin, AVAX, ICP, as I've been highlighting, you know, throughout the last couple of weeks. And I did with, you know, when we had this dump on Bitcoin, this little dump on Bitcoin, because you might have noticed, for some of you that do keep record of my entry prices, okay, when we had this dump on Bitcoin, I added 10% more to each of my positions. Just added a little bit more so that it drags my entry up, but I'm still safe. So if I'm here on the 1 hour, for example, on Litecoin, you can see that I still have amazing entries to the downside. Okay, so my entry, most of my entries used to be a little bit lower, like over there. Okay, that was my entry on Litecoin, for example. So I added ever so slightly and it dragged my entry up. I am not a type of trader that will add so aggressively over here that it just drags my entry all the way to the upside to try and maximize the profits, because I do realize that price can get a deeper retracement and then only get the bounce to the upside. And I don't want to get stopped out by adding too much to my positions. So I'm slowly but surely adding to these positions, 5%, 10%, as I see strength to the upside and nice little retracements to the downside. Right, so now Bitcoin is currently getting the dump. Okay, after the pump over the weekend, what happens during the week? We basically reverse the price action that we formed over the weekend. But first off, what I want to talk about is, let's quickly go on to the 4 hour and just look at the structure. I can take this line out the way now. Okay, the bullish structure, okay, is still intact. What can I say? And I've said this multiple times. For now, the bullish structure is still intact. Okay, the box that I have over here, this little red box that I have over here, is the conservative minimum fifth wave target. Can it overextend? Yes, it can. But I want to get out of the party, okay, before the people get drunk. This is where I plan to take profits from this trade that I'm in at the moment. Right. So there is something that needs to happen over here for the bulls to maintain control. So from a structural perspective, what you would like to see is a higher low and continuation to the upside. Okay, so for the bulls to hold the low, this needs to be a 5-wave structure. You want to create a 3-wave corrective structure, not take the low and continuation to the upside until we hit at least the box that I have over here. And this is the minimum target for a 5th wave. And this is where I plan to get out of the trade. I don't care if it goes higher. I don't care. Right? Because I know there's sometimes people that laugh at me to say that, yeah, you see, you took profits, but look how high or lower it went, depending on how. I don't care, right? It's about entering a successful trade. Okay, so in order to calculate this little box, just for everyone, if you want these levels on your chart, what I do is I take a trend-based FIP from the high, okay, the highest point of the structure, to this low that we've made over there. I drag it across, I reverse it to the upside, and you will see between the 1.382 and the 1.236 is where I have my box. Those are very, very, very common 5th wave targets, also regarded as minimum 5th wave targets. Okay, it can go to the 1.618, it can go to the 2 extension very easily. I don't care. I want to be out the trade, right? I will look for new trading opportunities if we do hit these levels here to the upside. So this is the trade that I want to get into. This is the trade, okay? It's a swing trade, guys. Okay, can last a couple of days, a couple of weeks. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. But there's a chance that the low could be in, okay? So for now, looking at the structure on the 4-hour time frame, okay, we have not hit the invalidation for this 5th wave. So it's still in my best interest to look for longs. The trend is still up, okay, and it's still in my best interest to look for longs. Right, more locally, the trend is not, well, more locally, okay, let me switch this off. This is now the only thing that's still a little bit concerning. Is locally looking at the structure, the price is still forming lower highs. Okay, I really wanted price to tap this level over here because that would have given me significant confidence, okay, that price is going to move higher. But now again, price has formed a lower high. Okay, so Bitcoin really is at a decision point over here. There's a good chance that the corrective structure is finished in a 3-wave structure. However you want to count this, it's a 3-wave structure. It is so far very corrective, and it is extremely difficult to count an impulse inside of this structure where it's just gonna tank to the downside. Okay, based on the structure that is forming over here, it looks incredibly corrective. even if it takes the low again. And this is why I'm still very interested in longs. Okay. Now the question is, okay, let's go and focus on this little local structure. Let's go and focus, well, what happened over here? If the correction is done, this is the count that I have. So let me just quickly adjust it, take this out. It's a WXY. Okay, this is the local count that I have that supports that the corrective structure could be done. You have formed a three-wave structure in W, you have formed a three-wave structure in X, and now you have formed a three-wave structure in Y. Okay. Based on this count, I do see that there are some people that's saying, well, what if this is now the scenario where you are now forming a larger ABC? Okay, a larger ABC. What if this is an A? Sorry, guys, let me just redo this. What if this is a B, and now we're going to take the low again? Okay, so let's discuss the probability. The probability of the Y ending over here carries low probability because of how short this little leg is. Okay, because I have to compare this against this, and it looks out of balance. It's completely out of balance. But if I compare this against this, it looks much better. Just look and feel. Does it look in balance? Does it look in proportion? Okay. Also, when I take a time fib and I measure, well, how long did it take W to form? So from the high to the low, and I put it on X, where X finished, you can now see that if this still had to play out, that your Y will be, it's already 4 times longer, guys. It's lowering the probabilities. Is it an invalidation? No. Okay. Does it impact probabilities? Yes. I'm a probabilities trader at the end of the day. I trade probabilities. If I have a 70% or a 75% chance of making gains in a certain direction, well, that's the probability that I'm going to trade, which means that 35% or 25% of the time I will be wrong. And I'm happy with that because that's what keeps me profitable. As long as I'm wrong less than what I'm right because I'm trading probabilities, that's what keeps me profitable. Okay, so this scenario, don't like it. Really don't like it. Okay, it just looks way better when I do this. And I say, well, this, you know, you have a three-wave structure. You have a three-wave structure in W. You have a long, complex corrective structure in X. And now you formed an A, B, C, another three-wave structure in Y. It needs to be done. So what you want to see is from this low, can you count a 5-wave structure to the upside? This has to form a 3-wave structure and continuation to the upside. So you want this to now to become your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, to the target box that I've highlighted. Just keeping the analysis very simple. There are other probabilities or other scenarios, okay, where we could extend the range, but guys, the range already feels long enough. Okay, when you look at this entire structure, okay, and let me put this on here just fresh for everyone. If I look at this as a 1, 2, okay, and this is a 3, 4, 5, this is now basically what we're looking at, right? So let's count 1 from over there. Doesn't really matter, but you can see that usually in your second wave, okay, whether your 1 is over there or whether your 1 is over there, but I'm just looking, I know it counts better as a double 1, 2. I'm trying to be conservative over here, okay, because this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, okay, just trying to be conservative. So there's a chance that the structure is way more bullish than what I'm mapping out here at the moment, but it just looks, you know, let's say the high is over here. It's just the corrections looks like they balance. Can you see? Okay, you have a nice long sideways 2 and you have a nice long sideways 4. So it looks like it balances, but it can still continue. Okay, so if the fourth wave had to continue, then we're going to have to start looking at more complex corrective structures, guys. But I think the point that I'm trying to drive home, if price is forming a much larger corrective structure, just making things way more boring for the next week or so, okay, then, okay, what do you get after a three-wave structure? What do you get after a three-wave structure? You get either a W or you get a A. This could form a B, and then you go down for another C. So the corrective structure can still continue, but the main takeaway is that it's still corrective, even if it still continues in time. Whether it takes the low, whether it doesn't take the low, because you can get a WXY that does not take the low, you can get an A, B flat that eats up all of these highs. Okay, you get that B flat, and then you get the C to the downside. You can even get a B flat that takes the highs, and then it falls back down again. What I'm trying to say is, whatever happens, this is all still corrective, and I am still very much interested in longs to the upside, regardless of what happens over here. Okay, so can you guys see, it can still become very boring. For now, based on the data that I have available today, okay, I now want to analyze this little structure. Does it have the chance for upwards momentum? Is there a chance that the low could be in? Yes. So now let's dive into the smaller time frames, guys, and I will go through the comments in a moment. I'm on a roll over here. I'm on a roll. Okay, so now we need to look at this little structure. Okay. And before we do, remember, as always, down in the description of this video, if you'd like to come and trade with me and take these amazing trading opportunities that we discuss, okay, during the live streams, you all know Bluffin, you get that 20% cash back. Okay, and this is where I'm taking these trades at the moment. Right, BTCC, for some reason, according to my analytics, a lot of you like to trade with BTCC, and I'm not sure if it's because it's available in more countries than most exchanges, which it is, or whether it's got stock options as well. You can trade stocks on there as well, like Facebook, silver, gold. You can trade stocks on BTCC as well. You also get a nice, amazing sign-up bonus depending on how much you deposit and trade. Right, weeks, we all know that amazing 20% deposit for your features account, 25% discount on your trading fees. And then I've also got Femix. Okay, so guys, all of these exchanges, all you need is an email and a password. Okay, you don't have to give them your life documents, if you know what I mean, right? Okay, so let's get back into it. It's also your way to support the channel, and it costs you nothing extra. I've organized the best deals with these exchanges so that you can benefit as a community. Right, now guys, on the 15-minute time frame, this is now what is very interesting to me, is that can I count 5 waves to the upside? Okay, and let me see if I actually prepared the scenario. Did I prepare the scenario? Or am I gonna have to redo this? Local finishing ABC, support resistance. I did. There we go. This is the scenario for the bulls. If you have an amazing entry like I have, which I think is amazing, you never know. Okay, if you have an amazing entry like me down here, okay, well, this is the scenario you want to see play out. I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now what you want to see is a 3-wave corrective structure. And there's a chance that this little can take the high in a B flat. But it's a 3-wave corrective structure. Whether it's going to create a flat or not, just a normal zigzag, we don't know what's going to happen over here. But something very interesting, as always, I take time into consideration. Okay? If this is the end of the impulse, it is too soon. It's too soon for the low to be in. You want to see a larger corrective structure that finishes after the 0.382. Okay, something very important for me. Right. You can see that I have a box over here that says strong support, and this is where price is currently bouncing at the top of the box, because we have a lot going on inside of this box, guys. We have a lot going on. First up, point of control. That is where price got the initial reaction. Then we have a daily level. Then we have a weekly level. Okay. There is a lot going on inside of this box. So what I did this morning for the Legends Pro community, I said, guys, if this is the top, okay, if it is the top, because price could still continue here to the upside, which means the structure is not done. Maybe it's multiple 1-2s that's built up here and it's just going to continue to the upside. Okay, but if we take these lows, then I'm going to invalidate multiple 1-2s, because it could be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it's just going to rock and roll to the upside. Okay, no large three-wave corrective structure. And then you're going to ask, but we didn't make the low off because it's multiple 1-2s. If we take these lows, it will invalidate multiple 1-2s. So for now, the multiple 1-2 is still in play. I'm not giving it the highest probability because of how large this 1-2 is compared to this 1-2. And then you have a smaller 1-2 over here that's now almost, it tapped the 0.88, which decreases the probabilities for a multiple 1-2. Anyways, okay, let's just stick to the high probable scenarios that could potentially play out here. For me to add to this position, because I want to add to this position, guys, here on Bluffin. Okay, where's my BTC? Let's open that up. I want to add to this position. And you guys can see I already have my TP set there at the top. Right? The only time in which I will add to this position, if price just continues here to the upside and it rampages, it will hit my TP, happy days. Okay? But if price can give me a beautiful three-wave corrective structure, okay, maybe it breaks that trend. Okay? This is where I will add to my position, and it will drag my entry ever so slightly to the upside where I can still protect it. That's the important thing for me, is that when I add to a position, I still want to be able to protect my position. So I'm not going to go crazy and add too much money to this position where I'm exposing myself to risk. So for the bulls, from a bullish perspective, you want this to be a 5-wave structure. You want a 3-wave corrective structure that finishes after the 0.382 and hopefully finds support inside of this box. Okay, because remember guys, if I zoom out a little bit over here, okay, if this is the end of the correction, if this is the end of the correction, what you want to see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to see a 5-wave structure to the upside to go and create another impulse. And it has to be 5 waves. So this could be the formation now of the first 1, 2, okay, before you get the 3 here to the upside. Okay. Right, let's jump back here onto the 15-minute time frame. So this is the bullish case scenario, guys. One thing I do want to highlight is that there is strong support inside of this zone. Okay, the maximum target for a 2, because now I'm counting this as a 1. Now you want to create a 2. Unfortunately, there is a deep target for number 2 as well. Okay, you take your fib from the low to the high, and it can go as low as the 786. It is not common for a second wave to tap the 0.88, so you want to see the bounce at least happen here at the 786. We did get a 1-2 over here that tapped the 0.88. So although I'm saying it's not common, it does happen. It doesn't happen often. So if this is a bullish structure here to the upside in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you did get a second wave that tapped the 0.88 without claiming the low over there. Okay, that most probably confused a lot of technical traders, especially technical traders that use Elliott wave theory. But, you know, here by the 0.382, 50%, 618, perfectly fine. You know, you get that dip below and you get the breakout back to the upside. So that is definitely something that I will keep in the back of my mind to add to my swing position. Obviously, in the most bearish case scenario, I will get stopped out of the trade, and then here at the bottom is where I'm going to be talking about right now. Well, what if this turns out to be an A, B, which is more common to hit the 0.88? What if this is an ABC? Okay, what if this is a three-wave structure to the upside, and now this is forming impulses back to the downside where it's going to come and claim the low? Well, what are the levels that I'm still watching below this low if I do get stopped out of my trade? Right, so let's dive into that now. Take this out the way. Guys, we have to talk about the scenario, okay? You might not like it. I don't think it carries high probability, but we have to talk about it. Because if price goes and takes the low, I want to have a plan. I need to have a plan, because if I don't have a plan and price takes my low and stops me out, then I can't get into a trade. I need to have a trading plan. So I have a trading plan for a three-wave structure where it forms a higher low and continues to the upside, where I will add to my position. That I have. I had my trading plan over here, and this is where I entered the trade. Now, what if all hell breaks loose and it just takes the low? What then? Okay. Let's go back here onto the 1 hour time frame. Switch this all off. Okay. What I will be looking at, legends, is this little consolidation area over here. That is the next area of support. There's nothing here. Okay. There's nothing there. If it's going to take this low again, it's most probably going to continue until it hits the next area of support. And it's this little consolidation area over there. Okay. I just want to see if I do have a level matching up. Let's see. Let's just reverse this back to the downside. One-to-one extension, 1-2. Okay. So just want to see something, if this is going to be an A, B. Okay, right. So this is one FIP pool that I will definitely keep an eye on. Okay. Is if it forms, basically this is your A, B, C. Okay, so it's basically going to take the low. Next level is I will use the 786, $114,000, 275. You can see it's close enough, but usually what price does is that, right? It gets to the level, it chops, and it finds momentum back to the upside. So this is where I will be looking for longs. If you want to be a little bit more sniper about it, you can go into this consolidation area, zoom into the smaller time frames, like the 15-minute. Let's go in there. Okay, if you want to sniper this little consolidation area, what I would do is a fixed range profile, okay, for this consolidation area. And you find the point of control. There's your point of control. So you can SFP that line, right? If you are into swing failure patterns. Okay. So a couple of ways to get into this trade, right? And it's just a scenario that I have to talk about, legends, because there is a scenario where we could still take the low, right? So I still have my trading plan here, and I'm just going to put an alarm just above. Just make sure that you have your alarm set. Hopefully I'm not sleeping. Okay, I will definitely get in, but I can tell you guys now, if I miss the swing failure, okay, maybe it's the 786, maybe it's the 1-to-1 extension. If I miss this because maybe I'm sleeping or at the gym or doing something else, okay, I will wait for acceptance then back above the low. I will wait for acceptance back above the low. I know where to put my stop loss, and I know where to take profits. Right, so there's a couple of ways you can get into the trade. You can also wait for a break of a trend, depending on how price forms here to the downside. There's still a lot that needs to happen, okay? And based on what's going to happen over here, if we do claim the lows, I know how to get into this trade. If I don't SFP the levels, there's another way, always another way to get into the trade. Always, 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 okay? Like what happened over here. If you did not get into an SFP over here, you wait for price to get acceptance back above the low, right? This is where you're long. That's where your stop loss goes. And now look at the nice profit you would have made here to the upside. Right. Okay, but currently it looks like the point of control is holding. Look at this, guys. This is where price is holding at the moment. Okay. I was counting this. I was looking at this now, the corrective structure here to the downside. So this is what I was busy with just before the live stream, is to say that, does this look impulsive to the downside? Okay, can this be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, you get your ABC here to the upside, and then you get another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That then finishes, you know, and so far it looks like either a 5-wave structure or a 3-wave structure, because I had a couple of fib levels. First fib level was here from the low to the high, and then I saw, okay, well, we got a beautiful bounce here on the 1.618, but then it took the lows again, and usually the 2 extension needs to hold. And then we almost, you know, anyways, it just looked better for me as this structure actually for me looks better as a 3-wave structure. Okay, so you then take your fib from the high to the low over here to the high, right? We got a perfect bounce there on the 0.786. I like the reaction at the 618 as well. So this is why I know that it's a valid fib pool. So what I'm basically trying to highlight here, legends, is this could be an A. This is now your A, because an A wave can be a 3-wave structure and it can be a 5-wave structure. Doesn't matter. Maybe we're going to get a bounce over here and form the B, and then we do the C. Okay. And this little B wave can do that. You can create an ABC flat. Okay, just remember. And what is interesting about this, guys, what is interesting about this, and it's actually a scenario that I would love to play out, is that we have a daily level upstairs. We have an untapped, we'd almost tapped it, we have an untapped daily level upstairs at $119,000. 993, let's just call it 120. It's at 120. So if we get a B flat over here, okay, this, and we reject by the daily level, this, okay, if I am awake, this is where I plan to hedge my longs. This is where I plan to hedge my longs. If we get a successful rejection from the daily level, I will enter a hedge short position against my longs. So that if we get a dump to the downside that goes and claims the lows again, at least I lose nothing. I lose nothing. Well, I'm not losing anything because I already protected my position, but at least I'm making money. Okay, let me put it that way. Right, but this, if I see what I want to see over here, because you could form an ABC flat. The B takes the high and the C takes the low. And I love ABC flats, and they do play out very, very often. They make people believe that momentum is continuing, so you just have longs entering over here. Okay, it stops out all of the shorts. It stops out all of the longs. Okay, it resets the market, and it continues momentum to the upside. So I love ABC flats. Love it. And they are also, for me, very easy to trade. Because what you're waiting for is acceptance back below the low. That's what you're waiting for. If price had to pump over here and it falls down and it starts trading below the highs, it's a sign of weakness. Okay? And I want to trade the weakness. That's why they're so easy for me from a swing failure perspective. That's why for me they are easy to trade. For those of you in the pro members community, you know also swing failure pattern, right? Okay. And then also the C. Price dips below. It gets acceptance back above. Okay, that's where you're interested in the longs. That's where you put your stop loss. So for me, they're easy to trade. Right. Cool, legends. We've spoken about the bearish case scenario. We've spoken about the bullish case scenario. And I think, you know, the most obvious for me is looking at this entire structure. Okay, because I know there's people that FOMO into trades. I think the low is in. There's a pullback. Let me buy now. Let me buy now. Just remember time, guys. Just remember time. Okay. And this is if this is the end of the impulse, it's not time yet. Okay. Unless this is multiple 1-2s. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 should not take the lows. Okay. And the probability for a triple 1-2 is not on the high side. Can it play out? Of course, but it's not a beautiful triple 1-2. You want to see a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. You want to see that. They need to be smaller. Okay, they need to become smaller. Now you have a tiny one over here, you have a large one over here, and you have a medium-sized one over here. Okay, it's just structurally it doesn't look pretty. Okay. Just want to see something here. If I take a fib here from this low to the high, okay, you can see it also tapped the 0.88, which is a red second wave target. And now it's not a sexy structure. Can it play out? Yes. I just have to highlight it and say, guys, well, if we just pump and not look back, well, it could be a triple 1-2, which is actually way more bullish, okay? Because when you form multiple 1-2s, okay, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, it can overshoot this little box that I have over here by far. It can overshoot it by far, so it actually becomes more bullish. Right, your invalidation is very close. Okay, so based on theory, based on structure, this scenario has the highest probability, okay, for the bulls. This scenario has the highest probability for the bulls. You want to see a larger three-wave structure. Doesn't matter if it does that, does this. You want to see a larger three-wave structure. Okay, at least finishing after the 0.382. Okay, that's basically what I wanted to highlight over here. I wanted to see, I'm still in the AR trade, as you all know. I have opened up a small little trade here on Moon River as well. I did add to my spot positions like I discussed last week. I wanted to see what dominance is doing here to the downside, and then I will also now go through some comments. Okay, let's look at dominance. What is dominance doing here? Just up and down at the moment. It has for now formed a higher low. Anyway, so let's get into some comments. Right, easy stuff. Maxi, Stefan 1, welcome to the live stream, man. CVD, you want to have a look at CVD? Let's see what CVD is doing. Okay, let's just refresh it, make sure that the levels are nice and crispy fresh, and it's very bullish at the moment, actually. But I mean, guys, if you look at the entire structure, it is an extremely bullish CVD structure, okay? It is absolutely insane, okay? So, I mean, if I just look at the local structure that we have formed, look at the low, okay? Look at the low. You have higher low, okay? You can just imagine if it had to make that three-wave structure, you already have bullish CVD. Okay, bullish. You have a triple confirmation. Could this be a triple 1-2 and it's absolutely going to explode? Guys, this shows me that smart money is very interested in longs. From a simplicity perspective, this shows me that smart money, people with a lot of capital, billions of dollars, not $1 million or $100,000. Smart money that's trading with billions of dollars are very interested in longs in Bitcoin, still inside of this entire range. And you can see it. If I zoom into this entire range, look at how, whoops, what did I do? I clicked on refresh, okay? Look at how CVD is absolutely just tanking, okay? Look at this. I mean, can it get any worse, right? Or more bullish? CVD falling down, okay? Price going sideways, very, very bullish, okay? This shows insane absorption of longs, of shorts. Retail, dumb money, for lack of a better word, is aggressively shorting over here. And smart money is just absorbing the shorts. They're saying, okay, we'll take the shorts, we'll add the liquidity to our long positions. Okay, so this tells a story, guys. And the story from a technical perspective over here is that the bulls, okay, institutions, smart money still wants this high. They want that high to be claimed. Okay, and you can see it. So that is what CVD is showing me at the moment. Right, Okay, I mean, guys, you can scalp these things, okay? It's not to say that this structure is going to play out to perfection, okay? We all know, you know, I draw out the little structure here, it looks simple, and then price does this, okay? Or it continues for much longer, which is perfectly fine, okay? Because, you know, it can still go to the one-to-one extension. It can even go to the 2 extension. What if this range is going to form a complex WXY and it's going to end off with a triangle, and it's going to be a triangle inside of a I don't know. It's just started. It literally just started the correction. Okay, it's either 1112 and it's going to blast off and we're all happy and we're going to take profits at, you know, at the box that I've highlighted, or it's going to form a ABC and a W, and then you're going to get a nice X here to the upside, and then you're going to form another Y, or the Y can end in it can still continue. I don't know what's going to happen over here, but based on price and how it develops, I can analyze the situation. Right, so from a simplicity perspective is when you have 5 waves up, you're looking for a corrective structure in a whether it's a long 3-wave structure or whether it's a nice little short 3-wave structure, finishes up and it continues. You're basically looking for a corrective structure to not take the low. Right. So let me go through some more comments. I'll go live in about 30 minutes. We have Andy here in the live stream. Yes, Andy, I also thought, let me do a quick little update here for the community. It's Monday. It's after the weekend. We have a nice little 5-wave structure here to the upside. Can it hold? Can the bulls defend the level? And also, like I've discussed, Andy, and I'm sure you're going to talk about the same levels. You know, if we take the low and I get stopped out of my trade, okay, if I get stopped out of my trade, right, it is protected. I will take the knock. Okay, and this, guys, I do realize that there's 2 ways to trade this. Okay, I can remove my stop loss, okay, which I might consider removing my stop loss and adding to my position. Where's the damn pen? Okay, and adding to my position at the levels that I've identified to the downside, because it still looks awfully corrective. Okay, or I take the knock and I get a better entry. So there's 2 ways to trade this, right? So depending on where price is and what time it is, I will make a trading decision, because I don't want this to happen while I'm sleeping. Okay. Right. Anyways, guys, if you have not checked out Andy's channel, he's an absolute legend, absolute master trader. I know Andy was one of the best scalp traders that I've ever seen, but now Andy's taking a little bit easy. You know, Andy is now becoming a swing trader, more relaxed, more chilled, more swing trading, looking for those nice little big movements to the up, to the downside. Andy, you know, I see you, but it is a way more relaxed way of trading, okay? Because scalping, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy. You need to be in, you need to be out, you need to know exactly where, you know, the swing failure patterns, you know, 5-minute, the point of controls, daily open, daily close. There's a lot more work that goes into scalping. Right, Mr. Pac-Man, welcome to the stream. Andy, the main man, yes, yeah, in the chat section. We will join you, Andy, over there during your live. Yes, definitely. I will also go and join Andy's live, because, guys, I'm basically done with my technical analysis over here. I just wanted to do a quick little short update for everyone. Andy in the house, appreciate both of your support this cycle. Definitely. Dewald is an absolute legend and master trader. Right, I try my best, okay? I know that I am not the best, but I do try my best to educate you so that you can take these trading decisions by yourself without relying on any signals group or other influencer to show you what you need to do. Okay, the question is always, can you delete YouTube and social media off your phone or PC and trade all by yourself? And if the answer is yes, then I mean, you've got it nailed down. Okay. Hey, Dewald, Mr. Pac-Man. Much love to Dewald for putting out the educational content out there. Let's pump his heart with chocolates by destroying the like button. No financial advice. Absolutely appreciate it. But legends, this is basically the update. Jeroen, always great to see you. Let me just open up the floor. Do you guys have any questions? If you have any questions, let me know. I'll give you guys, you know, maybe 5-10 minutes. You can ask me any questions, and then we'll call it a day. I see some people are leaving the live stream, so let me know if you have any questions. While I wait for the questions to come in, it doesn't look like anyone has any questions, but while I wait for the questions to come in, guys, oh, it's the one thing that I was thinking about before I started the live stream. And maybe I'm going to sound like a broken record. You watching this live stream right now, I don't think you understand how early you still are. You are still early. You haven't missed any boats, okay? You are still extremely early. Remember, guys, market makers, institutions, people that play with billions of dollars, they need to bring retail back into the market so that they can offload. Okay, there's no one to offload against at the moment. We need retail back, and this is also what goes hand in hand with the corrective structures, and why I am still leaning more bullish, because there's not enough retail in the market. Okay, unfortunately, we need retail to make profits, or to take profits. Appreciate Dewald for all these training and cookies. Show some love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dewald. Good. Thank you. Can you take a look at MLN? Put on mascara. Can you take a look at ML? Before we go and look at some altcoin, guys, because that takes a lot of time, I want to see if there's any other questions. Yes. Can I smoke some socks? Well, you're more than welcome to smoke some socks. Oh, is that the questions? Everyone wants altcoins. When long? How low is the low in? Okay. Christoph, I have discussed all the possibilities and probabilities during this stream, so just go and check it out, reverse it, maybe rewatch it on 2x speed after I'm done. Okay, Sui, questions. Okay, you guys just want damn altcoins. Thank you, mate. What's the likelihood we go up from this level versus the liquidity around 117, 400? Oh, that's basically below the low. No. 117 is over here. I think the liquidity still has a good chance to be claimed, because where's your Rudy? If this is a 5-wave structure to the upside, the correction still needs to continue at least until after the 0.382. So that liquidity that you are highlighting is in this zone over here. So maybe, you know, you get the bounce. Either it creates the flat, the B flat, but I want the low to be made after my minimum target. So there's a good chance that it can come a very good chance that it can come and eat up the liquidity before it gets the bounce to the upside. Okay. Right. Please analyze Sui. Okay, guys, let's do a couple. 1 or 2 altcoins, okay? Because I can see you guys just want altcoins, right? Let's check out Mr. Sui over here. No, man, I had Sui. Why did it delete it? Oh, it was not deleted. Sorry, guys. Let me just do this again. Sui. Bing. Let's check out Mr. Sui over here. Ooh. I'm going to go to the 1 hour. Take this out. Okay, guys, on the macro, you guys have, I've spoken about this many times. Okay, on the macro time frame, okay, I'm still expecting another wave to the upside. Whether it's a 3 or 5, I don't care. I'm still expecting another wave here to the upside. Okay, on Sui. Just want to see something over here. Yo, 1 2 1 2. Yo, this could be a double 1 2. Anyway, I don't want to be too bullish. Okay, let's just go here back onto the 4 hour. Right, I need to go and update those scenarios. It's broken trend, so this could now potentially be a 1 2 3 4, and now it's busy, or it's already completed the 5th wave here to the upside. Okay. Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the highs, I can already count a 5-wave structure. Okay, or it's forming multiple 1-2s, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's just going to rock. It's just going to continue momentum to the upside. Okay, but I just want to make you guys aware that there's a chance, okay, that Sui's local high is in, because after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to see a 3-wave corrective structure and continuation. So Sui could be in the formation of a larger corrective structure, unless it's multiple 1-2s. That's just building up, and it's going to absolutely rocket you to the upside. So something that I want to check out over here on Sui is what target did it hit to the upside? 1.618. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Okay, bullish case scenario, guys, is that it continues. I mean, there was the breakout. Okay, there was the breakout. There was the breakout. It claimed the high. So this trade that we spoke about last week played out. Okay, and your third wave, look at the 1.618. If this is a 1, 2, 3, okay, it rejected or consolidated at the 1.618, which is a third wave target. And then the 2 extension is a 5th wave target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a chance that it could form a larger corrective structure. Okay, but the low should be protected, because after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want to see a 3-wave structure, higher low, and continuation. Okay, unless it's multiple 1-2s, guys. But I mean, it looks 5-wavy. Okay, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave corrective structure. There's a chance that the high could be in for Sui. Okay, there's a chance the high could be in for Sui. The local high, guys, the local high. Okay, not the high. Right, I do still expect upwards momentum, but this could be the first wave inside of the next wave. So if you have 1, 2, and you're now building the third wave here to the upside, each wave has 5 waves. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could have started a larger corrective structure. If it continues here in a straight line to the upside, well, then it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Maybe it's just building up 1, 1, 2s, and it's just gonna rocket. And it's, you know, it's just, you know, it's just never easy to tell. But I mean, from a Fibonacci perspective, it does look like it respected the levels. Okay, as a 5-wave structure. Also, you have some selling pressure kicking in here at the highs. Remember, you can still form a flat A, B, C. But so let's do this, guys. If Sui continues, I know I've got these red lines and shit everywhere, guys. So let me clean this up. Let's take out the trends. Okay. If Sui continues sideways, aka correction, you want to take a time fib from the low to the high. Okay, that's the high that it's made now, and you want the corrective structure to finish after the 0.382. So if this is the high in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, I will only get interested in longs after the 10th of August, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Central European time. I'm not going to be interested in any longs over here. I don't care about longs over here until it hits my target. Right. If you're already in long positions from further down, okay, it's good to hold on. Maybe you've got a stunning entry here to the downside. Maybe you played this breakout, okay. You have a chance of your position still be protected, but I mean, I know I'm doing a little bit of longer technical analysis here on Sui. Okay. Right. 786, guys. I mean, if you have an entry over here, okay, and you have protected your position and you have not taken any profits, there's a chance that you could get stopped out, because the maximum target for second wave is the 786. If it does this, it could stop you out and then continue. Okay. Just depends on how you are managing a swing position. Maybe you leave it open. Maybe you have your stop loss below the low. I don't know. Maybe you plan to add a little bit more here. That was going to drag your entry up ever so slightly. However you want to play it, there's multiple ways to get into this trade. I'm personally not interested in a SUI trade over here because I've got other trades open. And I do have a spot bag of SUI. I bought it $1, round about $1. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for it to play out, okay, to go to higher levels, because I do see the bulls, okay, or I do see the bullish case scenario here, even with a correction here to the downside to $2.7, okay, I do still see the highs being claimed again. Right, legends, that is basically it from my side. Okay, a lot of you asked for SUI. I know that Andy's going live in a couple of minutes. I just wanted to do a quick little update over here, so remember to smash up that like button if you'd like to come and trade with me. The links are always down in the description where you get the best deals. Okay, and until the next one, cheers for now.